Hello. Today I wanted to do a quick video. I don't know how quick it's going to be, but a video about something that I really enjoy doing, and that is reading computer and video game magazines. Ever since I was like a little kid, I used to read them. It started like when I was in like primary school. I would read, and I had a Commodore 64, and I would read the Commodore 64 magazines at the time. And the Commodore 64 magazines at the time, they usually had Commodore stuff and Amiga stuff as well, and I didn't have an Amiga. And the two big magazines that I got, like I read from the newsagents were CU. I forgot what it stood for, but the C was probably Commodore for sure, but Commodore User I think it was. And also my favorite, I think, Zap 64. It's ZZAP 64. I love that magazine. Got so much nostalgia associated with it, like how it was such a fun magazine. Like the reviews were so good, and had like 3 people reviewing each game, and like they'd give it the thumbs up, and like you'd see quickly if the game was good or not by the picture that they had with it. Oh, I love that magazine. I bought quite a lot of them because I went to the newsagent, and I think they were a few dollars each. And I remember with the one that had the Amiga stuff, they'd have the 3.25 inch disc, the hard one, on the cover, and I couldn't, because Commodore 64 used the floppy disk, the bigger, they're both floppy disks, but the 5.25 inch ones, and so I used to look at the 3.5 inch ones and just think, oh, so cool, like they look like, it's like, just amazing, because I couldn't use them, and they had all these amazing graphics and stuff on the games. I used to look at the Amiga graphics and just be so, I think, jealous even. Like I used to look at them and think, oh, the graphics are amazing, the games are amazing, But I still love my Commodore 64 a lot. But yeah, it was really interesting. Like, and the magazines would have walkthroughs at the back, because in those days, if you got stuck in a game, there wasn't like the internet where you could just look it up and find out what to do next. So you had to rely on like maybe walkthroughs and stuff to get you through some tricky parts, or writing into the magazine to ask for hints and then they would tell you the answer if they knew it. Yeah, those are the days I really liked it. Although it's good nowadays too, where you can just kind of look up things when you're stuck. But I like both things. But yeah, the walkthroughs were cool. I'd read walkthroughs of games I didn't even have. Like I remember reading like a walkthrough for this point and click adventure called Future Wars on the Amiga, and it just looked so cool. Like the pictures of this futuristic guy like in some scenery, and like I remember my imagination would take over and just kind of just think how cool it was. And actually a couple of years ago I went back and got an emulated version of Future Wars, and I got a walkthrough and I finished it, so it was good. It felt really good. It was a fun game, and yeah, it's just something to tick off, and yeah, it felt good. So yeah, that's those days. Like I love it. I love those days reading. And for the last, I don't know, 15 years or something, I like, not all at once, but I think there was a few years break in between. But for most of the last 15 years or so, I've been subscribed to PC Gamer UK version, because I find that I really liked, because I remember reading the US version and the UK version. I found I was, probably because I grew up reading the UK Commodore magazines, I was used to it being funny, magazines being funny, kind of, yeah, just the British sense of humour in a way. The US version was thicker and had a lot of stuff, but I just preferred just a humorous take on things. And I found, yeah, it appealed to me, the UK version of PC Gamer. So I subscribed to them. Either before I subscribed to them, I think I just bought them from the magazine, from the newsagent every month. I'd just go in there and buy it, and eventually I think there's some months I missed it because someone else must have bought it or something like that. So in the end, I think I decided to subscribe to them. So it worked out cheaper, and it was good, and I enjoyed it. I had a great time reading those magazines. Every month, reading about it, and yeah, so many years of reading it. I really enjoyed it. And one negative is like, the problem is like you accumulate all these magazines, and I would keep them under the bookshelf or somewhere under my bed, and eventually I got stacks and stacks and stacks of them, and like they take up a lot of space, and they would get all dusty and stuff. And And a few years ago, I think a couple of years ago, I went on a whole minimalist thing where I just chucked away at stuff that I didn't use. So unfortunately, I even threw away all those old magazines just to keep barely anything in my room, which, you know, I was kind of bummed. But that was like a downside. Like, I didn't know what to do with all these magazines. So what happened was really cool. Was like not the invention of the iPad, but the iPad came along and, you know, kind of made tablets, well, there's tablets before, but iPad really brought it into the mainstream. And I got an iPad, my lovely iPad, which I've had for at least a year, and I still love it so much. And the cool thing is, this year I decided I was going to subscribe to PC Gamer digitally, so like I'd read the magazine off the iPad. And initially I was thinking maybe it wouldn't be the same as the feel of reading the paper, but I've quickly gotten used to it. And the best thing about it is that now I don't accumulate all these magazines that I don't know where to put them. Like, they're all the magazines will just accumulate on this one nifty little device, my lovely iPad. And yeah, I really enjoy reading it on the iPad. Like, it's just there. It remembers where I'm up to in the magazine. So if I got to page 23, if I load up Bookshelf or whatever the app is called, it'll pop back up on the same page. You know, I can zoom in, zoom out, and I just love the fact that, you know, I can still continue reading these magazines, you know, because I was considering not subscribing to them anymore because, yeah, I just had like because I was reading other books and stuff, so I had a backlog of magazines that I would get every month, but I didn't get time to read them all. But now with the iPad, like, I can bring it with me on the train and stuff, so I could, you know, quickly catch up on the train. Like, it's always with me. And it's been the best, like, being able to continue on reading these computer magazines. Like, I really, really enjoy reading them. Like, the funny thing is, like, I don't allow myself that much time to play all these games. So, and plus nowadays, it's like we have access to so many games that there's no time to play all of them. There's just no time, like, if you include indie games and stuff as well, which I haven't really touched on. Like, I haven't started playing them, but those are the type of games that interest me. But in the old days, like, you'd have like 1 or 2 games and that was it. And like every couple of months you might get them because you had to get them from friends or wait for them to like appear in the shops and stuff before you could play them. And now it's like there's just from different consoles and there's a zillion different games on the phone, so it's just like overwhelming almost. So it's kind of hard to. There's just no way you can play everything, but having the magazine there, it's kind of cool because I get like an overview of what's happening in the kind of gaming world, you know, and they kind of let me know if there's anything big happening in the gaming world. And I was just reading it this morning, and because, you know, it alerts me when a new one comes on every month, and I just download it. And I was reading the new magazine today and just enjoying it. Like, it felt good that it was, you know, there. And yeah, I love UK PC Gamer. I really like it. And it's funny, you get really attached to the people who write the articles. Like, you know, they might have 4 or 5 writers, regular writers, and after a couple of years there's a slow changeover. Like, you know, one might leave and another one might come in and stuff like that. And, you know, they become really familiar. Like, it's, yeah, like, and I understand from working, like, you know, sometimes you don't want to stay at the same job forever. Unlike me, I like staying at the job I'm at. But, you know, people do want to move on and do other things and things like that. So it's understandable, but it's kind of, yeah. But I guess it's always good. I love how this I can continue on, you know, being a subscriber to UK PC Gamer through the iPad. You know, it's funny because I was, you know, I was subscribed to the magazine, and like the subscription ran out, and, you know, they were really good. Like, they sent me so many magazines, and the last few magazines are saying your subscription's ending soon. You know, we'll miss you, and just try, you know, renew your subscription and all that stuff. But I was like, oh yeah, if only you guys knew I'm already subscribed to you digitally, you know, so it's okay. But yeah, I love reading video game magazines. I really enjoy it. Yeah, and a lot of things I've come across through reading PC game magazines, like what triggered me to start watching Doctor Who. Actually, it was when they talked about the Doctor Who game a couple of years ago. You know, with the one with Matt Smith and Karen Gillan in it. I read something about it, and it just, because I heard a lot about my friends saying how good Doctor Who was, but that was the trigger that got me to, okay, let's just start watching it now. A few other things, a lot of other things that I find out about through computer magazines, and yeah, just something it really makes me happy to read them, and I enjoy getting them every month, and the subscription fee is more than worth it. It's actually cheaper subscribing this way rather than through the magazines, which is another bonus. So that's all I want to talk about.